Hey man, did you hear Vince Neil singing? Was
Oh
that
my
for real?
God, was that horrible?
Oh
Oh my
man,
God!
I felt sorry for him.
It's like he's not. It's like
Again, like
he's singing in
I feel like
tongues.
I
Go
feel
ahead,
like him and Donald Trump could help each other more now than they ever could back in The Apprentice. Like from one guy who's not hitting the notes to another. It's like, man, I don't know. What do you do? What are you gonna do? You know, you can't resign from Motley Crue, can you? Can you get impeached from you know, you could get Steven Adler out, but I mean, holy fuck! I mean, it's hardly worth Tommy Lee slinging his dick around the town with that as lead vocals. No offense, Vince. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that guy that died in the Dewey when Vince was driving heard similar screaming right before, right before the white light.
the guy from
But
Hanoi Rocks.
yeah, he didn't deserve that, man. If that's what he heard, he's like, holy fuck. That's some shit. Yeah. I'm back home where I can admire other people's meltdowns instead of just being one. I can get out of the mix.
That's all right. Hey, Andy.
Hey man, I thought we were.
Hi,
doing
Andy.
This
Uh-oh.
I thought we were doing this in an hour, so I didn't. No,
Man, I'm almost positive that my text read 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 noon in Bisbee.
Yeah,
Does that seem right?
It did indeed.
well, it is. Yeah,
Andy forgot where he was.
11 Bisbee, but I thought we were still at noon my time.
No,
Hey, Andy, put the microphone in front of you.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah. As I stated, I was expecting this. So I just happened to take a break from the hearing, the fucking, the something that Chad doesn't know anything about hearing. And then there you guys are. So, or it said join call.
Yeah.
And I was set up ahead of time. The
Good
squirrel.
for you.
The squirrel is not dead, and he's now really fucking annoying, or she. And I don't have the answer for her neither. But
did you say annoying or annoyed?
well, it's both. Yeah, I'm sure it has.
Tell that a squirrel is annoyed with you, Andy.
It's standing right off camera there, fucking giving me a look like a fucking, like a rodent manager saying you're fucking fired or some shit,
Is he giving you the claw?
Yeah, it's kind of giving me the claw, like, wrap it up, and put some more cashews down, motherfucker. It's a general vibe here in Oregon. It's a little more manageable than bus crashes and such.
Andy could really use a road manager. Unfortunately, he only has a rodent manager.
On the upside, he'll work for peanuts.
Right. Exactly.
Sounds like he's working for cashews. He's already negotiated a better deal than peanuts.
That's basically what I keep in the car for homeless. Like, here, I don't have anything to help you except a granola flavor I don't like.
When you say you keep it in the car for homeless, do you mean for homeless people or for when you're homeless?
Well, it can work both ways, but that's why I also put M&Ms in there.
You like to stock things for the homeless that you also like?
Yeah, like things would have to be pretty fucked up for me to hand peanut M&Ms to the homeless. I mean, they'd have to be going pretty well, maybe. I don't know, but I would keep. You never know when your car's gonna fucking crap out and you're gonna live on that.
You don't. That's for sure.
You're gonna eat everything in that glove box, including the acid. Once things go to shit, that's my learnings. I got to separate this cat and squirrel situation and get a beer.
All right.
Hey, hang on a second.
Right.
I'm gonna grab a drink too. I might as well keep this hangover going.
I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I, on the other hand, Chad, woke up this morning to a terrible fright. Completely out of Bloody Mary mix without realizing it. So I've had to Irish up my coffee this morning, and that's the route I'm taking. Yeah. It's it's
Jenny,
adapt and conquer.
Jenny just got me some new stuff, and I had it in mind last night because I also got very fucking drunk on the Twitch stream last night, and I was like, man, this is gonna suck tomorrow. And Joby points out, yeah, but it's fucking Bloody Mary, so it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, that's all right. Be hungover to drink Bloody Marys.
That's right. You should be, in fact.
Cheers, gents.
Yeah. Cheers.
Welcome to Wednesday, our Friday.
America's Friday.
Yeah. Oh shit. So Andy, you made it back home. Oh, look at him.
See,
look at you.
Lean it forward.
What does it say?
Topical shit there. Oh, that's Trump's wandering around with a note that says, "I want nothing."
Yeah. If you hadn't seen Trump, there was a shot of Trump this morning giving his. He was speaking to reporters before he got on the helicopter, and he had a notepad with notes for himself, and he had written, "I want nothing. I want nothing. No quid pro quo." It's like he can't even remember the most basic points without writing them down.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
He's disappointing as a speed freak at this point. You're like, God damn it. And, it's fucking just, fuck. I know the struggle, bro. We've all been on 4-day tours.
Yeah.
We know how it is, but you gotta, don't let the fucking reporter see your note.
Yeah, what's happening to him right now is kind of a bus crash. So
yeah, I think we're all waiting for that "I'm not a crook" moment. I don't think Trump's going to be able to piece together that many words. It's going to be like fucking not that cool.
I learned early on in life that lying is a fucking huge pain in the ass because you got to remember what lies you told to what people. I can't imagine trying to keep track. I just always been overly truthful since then, probably to a fault, but I couldn't imagine trying to keep that many fucking lies up in the air.
Well, that's my brother Larry was a typical speedhead, and whenever there was some bullshit that involved Larry, he would offer up 3 fucking varying fucking bullshit stories. And until this presidency, I never really pieced it together, but Larry is kind of presidential. He'd offer up 3 different fucking accounts, all involving Kenny and his big shoe. And that's why the car is fucked up or whatever. And, he had scapegoats and 3 different versions of the same fucking, the end result was the car was fucked up. But Larry let you decide which adventure you wanted to go with him and Big Shoe Kenny on.
It's like that old video game, Dragon Quest, where you joystick one way and then you go down the
right,
tavern, you go to the princess.
And I'll bet Larry could rig up the fucking joystick to run a car back in the day. He was experimental electrician guy back then. Like the Jimi Hendrix of wiring for a minute.
It ends up with him catching things on fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of that, but he had a lot of stuff, so some of it did probably burn, but he had a pretty good. Well, I don't know if I don't like clowns anyway, but Larry at one time had a lot of clowns. He had a trade situation back in the day. I don't know what he went to jail.
What do you mean you had a lot of clowns, like porcelain clowns, or like dolls, or like actual?
I didn't go deep into the room. But it was like it got to be a bit of a hoard because people knew that Larry liked to trade back in the day.
So he's a collector. He's a collector.
He was. He lost his collection due to some legal matters back in the day, and it's been worked out through the state of Oregon. And I think that's it. I think he's all square. And he's got a square pacemaker that sticks out of his chest, so he's really not punishable at this point. He's below the law. He's below the law at this point.
I don't know what attorney you've been talking to, but I don't think a pacemaker precludes you from going to jail for shit.
It's a square pacemaker, Chad.
Well, he doesn't commit any crimes no more. He was more of an outlaw before. He was nearly dead a couple of times.
Well, you're saying all of his clowns are now above the line.
All those were confiscated and returned to better homes, I guess.
Clown rescue.
I feel like we're not getting the whole story here. I feel like he talked Andy into going through dog doors to get everybody in the neighborhood's clowns for himself.
Yeah, well, I haven't talked to Larry about those legal matters in a long time, but I know.
Yeah, plausible deniability is, I think, what they call it.
Right. Larry tell you 3 different versions of why he didn't have that shit, or whose fault it was. But nonetheless, he did go to court, settle up, and now he's a totally reformed guy.
Good for him.
With new teeth, as far as I can tell. They don't fit his face. I don't know. He thought when I knocked on his door, he thought I was the cops because I had a security jacket on. And then I just saw these Gary Busey-like teeth where there used to be not much, and they didn't fit his face that great. But I was staring at that, and he was like, "What do you want? You fuck me!" Like trying to intimidate me because I was a cop or something. So I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. Is what I'm getting at. I'll be sure to bring that jacket.
Oh shit.
Things just are easier for me in these weed-friendly states.
I see that. You do you do seem more relaxed.
I've been waiting to catch up on your the rest of your story. How your trip went to get back home? You did make it back home, I see. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But I've been anxious to know. I'm as excited to do this Wednesday as people are to listen to it on Friday. They're like, "What happened to Andy?" And I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, "What happened to Andy?"
Well, just to recap, to give Andy a chance to get ready to unpack everything that happened since then. Our last podcast, I was in Orlando, and Andy was in Orlando. He wouldn't disclose where, and that was probably for the best. And he was going to come out to the show that night. So that's where we left off last time, and he was heading out there. You weren't feeling too good because you hadn't scored. You didn't even have a drink, did you?
Oh no, I was sober.
Yeah. So that's why you look different now.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I don't even know where I left it, but I didn't go to the doctor. I got out of Orlando fine. I woke up and there was somebody. Did you hear somebody? I don't know if I saw it on the news ticker, but somebody died in a window seat. Which when I get to the window seat, and I have no problem pre-boarding, I just I showed him a picture of the bus crash, and I go, "Can I get on there early?"
Oh, lucky Andy. Here's what happened to my last mode of transportation.
Right.
I was instrumental. I was a hero.
I was the first. I was before the first responders. I directed the first responders and where to stand and such. And so I got on the first plane, and I did have a little calm me down drug for the flight. And I got on the flight at the window seat, was out. I went to the bathrooms by the ladies back there, and we were chatting it up, and there was a crash in the back of the plane, which I just, after the bus crash that I slept through, I didn't really notice that it was a big deal. So I went to sleep, woke up a few minutes later, there was a bunch of people around me, and then heard an announcement that a catering cart slammed into the back of the plane and bent some sort of wing apparatus.
This is prior to taking off, right?
Yeah.
All
right. So the plane.
Well, it would be hard for a catering cart to slam into the plane in the air.
But he said he was out in the back talking to the ladies.
I was because I was
like when everyone else is packing their shit and getting on the plane to get the fuck out. You're in back chatting up the ladies.
I was the first one on the plane.
Well,
so I was in back. I took a piss in the back of the plane, and it was just me and the ladies.
On the plane, why didn't you piss in the airport? You're the first one. You rushed to
'Cause
get in there to use the urinal in the fucking plane?
I knew that once the medication kicked in, I was going to be out for a while, and I just wanted to vacate my premises or whatever, So that's what happened. I felt the jarring of the thing, is my point. And then so we had to unload. I was asleep already because the Xan, whatever it was, had kind of kicked in, and I was out. So then I had to deplane and then wait about 3 hours in an upright position waiting for United to get another plane there. So there was another crash involving my travel. And then once I did get to Portland and into my car, I'm glad there wasn't a heavy state trooper presence that evening, or because at dusk I was having trouble keeping myself awake or caring. At that point, it just fuck it, let the car do what the car's doing. I'm not familiar with the car's rhythms yet either. So, but those reflector strips or whatever kept jarring me awake and sending me closer to my home. So here I am. Yeah, 3 or 4 times nodding off, which, those state troopers being not out made it all the difference in how my trip went. I think,
so you navigated your way home from Portland using the rumble strips on the highway.
Right. I think some sort of involvement with the state police would have really ruined that trip.
Well, we're glad you're home.
So Andy, you did show up to the Doug Stanhope show at the Orlando Improv.
Yeah, I skipped right over that part of the story.
Yeah, just right on by. And since we had one more show after that, and Doug and I talked about it last night on the podcast we did. That's going to be out already. But there were a couple things that happened. Remember the gal in that was taken out from the bathroom, the EMT.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
You skipped over that part. And then how about the guy that gave me hallucinogens? And I said, no, we're driving. And I go, but there's a friend here who he gave you a little pill case that had something in it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, how about that part, Andy?
Andy tried to summarize the story like we weren't sitting here for an hour. Like he's trying to hurry up. Like, all right, let me just get through this.
Well, some of this is it.
You guys all. Go ahead.
I picked up a nasty head cold because on my flight actually happened. Someone was in the middle seat with all kinds of fucking germs and shit. So I've been on cold meds, and that's a good reminder that I should unpack. Because I still have my 2 backpacks together. Shaylee, that's a good idea. I should unpack my luggage.
Forgot about that one, huh?
Yeah, that kind of slipped my mind because it wasn't on the immediate desired list. I was just trying to get home calm and everything. So and then I misplayed a Addy.
You misplayed a Zanny and an Addy?
Oh shit, that's right. Oh, hold on. He's not okay, Andy. I've tried to let you tell the fucking story, but now I'm just gonna have to go ahead and do it.
Well, I'm not. Yeah.
Well, maybe you don't remember. Andy gets there, and I got him on the list, and immediately I've got people from the box office going, "How many are we allowed to let in with Andy?" And I'm like, "No, none. Just Andy."
No.
And then she came in with her mom. She's a very lovely lady, and they all sat down, and then later on at the merch booth, I mean, Andy, I did catch you going into the green room when Doug was on and filling up pint glasses full of vodka and then ferrying them out to the table and then going back in to get another pint glass.
I did do that once.
Yes.
I felt two. Yeah.
I said, I know that happened. And then remember you guys were sitting third row.
I thought I was auditioning for the Improv.
Hey, are we not supposed to do that? I always do. I mean, I just go get myself a drink. I don't take. I'm not waitering, but
no, he'd be like,
it's Florida. You never know when some sort of mass casualty situation will spring out. So you want to have a couple of cocktails for that sort of shit. That's trauma.
He was just trying to fulfill the 2-drink minimum to have you at the table. So it wasn't a problem until all of a sudden the guy that was drinking at the table with him, the bald guy that was with you guys, I don't know who that was, until he started responding to the stage and then talking loud. And I had to go up to Andy's ear.
Right. So I didn't care.
I could do a big, huge gasp of air in his ear because it was obvious they were going to keep ferrying drinks and talking like they're watching like Ellen TV or something.
I was in my own tunnel there. I didn't hear the call and response to the. Yeah. But there was a whole table kicked out in front of that too. At some point, like.
Because I was going to kick him out. I was going to kick him out.
No, there was like they almost got kicked out in 2 pieces. I don't know if like the ladies left and then there was some, but yeah, there was like that whole up front section was cleared out. Bringing, if the loud ones were there, you probably wouldn't even notice the other. Yeah. That was late in the show and minimal. Because I would have picked up on that, but yeah, I thought it was me that you were shushing, and then I was like, wait, I wasn't even saying anything. I was just thinking.
It was Andy. Andy, it was right in your fucking ear.
I thought you were just Andy. This is just Andy like this fucking hearing. Why do I feel like that fucking ambassador and Jim Jordan's fucking jumping my shit here? Hey man,
Andy would have told.
Andy would have.
The guy that you keep ferrying drinks to.
Yeah. And to remind you, I'd been in an accident less than 8 or 9 hours earlier.
Pull that up.
So there's that. So plus I'm bipolar-ish. Having
bipolar-ish.
Ish. I'm not medicated or labeled proper.
Brett, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that Andy would have told his table to be quiet, but he probably thought it was just all the air leaking out of him. That you weren't being shushed. Like, I guess this is how I go.
Yeah, like Steve Irwin, you can't even get the words out. It just comes out in here. Yes, of air.
Like an air mattress.
What he wanted to say is, crikey, are you still filming all this, mate? No. And it probably just come out like
a big bubble on his chest.
That's how it all ends, in one big shush.
Well,
wait. See? It's not this one, but it's coming. It
did end.
For a second, I hope that's how it ends. Like we're all podcasting, and then it's like, holy fuck, because I'm outside and I'll be the first one to see it light up and go, oh shit. Yeah. Good luck editing this and getting it on air by fucking.
Yeah. Better hit live stream right now. We better go live, bitches.
Archaeologists will find the footage 100 years from now.
They'll find, me burnt with a little bit of Sheryl Crow cardboard cutout behind me, and this bong that's beckoning to me on the side here.
Well, Andy, do you remember the guy in the wheelchair?
Yeah. Some of my biggest fans are the weirdest motherfuckers. He came in with 3 16-ounce, the bigger beers. 16 ounces. Yeah. He had 3 ounces on him, 3 tall boys on him, and they would have been pocket beers if he was physically capable of having pockets or reaching them. So he just had 3 tall boys riding on his lap.
Are you telling me he stole that guy's beer?
No, I didn't take them. No, they weren't anything. They were hipster beers, and I don't think he was a hipster. I don't think he was drinking them as a hipster. I think he was drinking them for the price.
It sounds to me like he was actually truly a hipster.
Yeah, well, I mean, it ain't a cheap ticket price, and if you can have your beer carried in on a handicap person, you're going to save some dough. The old fans can get in there, it's still light their fucking fires outside and cook a chicken up and go to the Stanhope Show. Maybe we sneak in a few beers on obviously the handicap dude. They won't say, I don't know. Maybe he was just talking. how would they have? I don't see how he. Did they just give him 3-pounders at the bar?
No, they sell those there.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
I just thought. Oh, okay. It just seemed odd to me that he had 3 beers on his torso. Like he was like he was on some sort of a fucking AA bike ride or something, you know.
Andy, I really think maybe you need to go through your luggage, because that's the guy who handed me a prescription bottle of about 60 Adderall, and I dumped a bunch in your hand before we parted ways.
Yeah.
And you said you lost one Adderall. Did they all form into one big pill?
No,
because I gave you a handful of those, and
he just licks it like a lollipop now.
It's like a gobstopper.
You ever hear my story of feeding deer or trying to feed deer at a goat park with my daughter? You know,
do you mean a petting zoo?
Yeah, the petting zoo.
Goat park.
A goat park.
Why would a deer be in a goat park?
Dude, I've gotten so used to listening to Andy's stories.
Anyway.
The goat park went right past me, Erickson. It didn't even I was like, all right, Andy was at the goat park. What the fuck is a goat park?
Anyway, I may not have got out of Florida with all that cone of food that I intended to feed the deer. It's hard to feed a deer when you got to get between the deer and the goats or some such shit. And no metaphor.
I think that was Mark Twain. I think that was Mark Twain who said that originally.
Samuel Clemens.
But everything is so fucking dumbed down now that it could, it's like it's down to I asked for nothing. I asked for nothing. That's so yeah, that's it.
It's so dumbed down they're calling petting zoos goat parks.
Well, that was the problem. It was called Deer Park, and they had a lot of aggressive goats. Like if you were going to get donuts at Voodoo Donuts and you were accosted by the homeless, which happens all the time because it was a cash only business. So they knew you have cash or you have donuts, but either way, there's not, you're not getting out with everything, you're going to leave,
Unless you're homeless walking in there, you have either donuts on exit or money walking in because it's a cash business. Yeah.
Right. And so, so you get 13 donuts if you want to take home 12 or
and Andy's like, oh, shit. Yeah. Andy's like, oh, shit, I left my cashews in the car. Yeah.
Sent my squirrel in to get donuts.
Dude, I swear I'll be back with some peanut M&Ms. Swear.
In my car. They're a little
melty. Hey, Andy, what about the acid?
That's again names edit block. Who?
You don't know him. He was a fan, and he left a note that I have.
I can't review it until I find it, but I got to go through some bags. I bet I got home to a fucking nasty situation, head cold wise and other, and I've been sleeping a bunch, and I just have my bags piled up. But when I needed the Addy the other night is when I couldn't find it without hustling the bag and rolling off the road even further. Last thing I want is to be distracted, and a Peter Gabriel song came on, and I did not want that fucking bullshit again. I was like,
Sledgehammer
I was hypersensitive about. No, I like it. It was in your eyes, and I was in the right mood for it.
There we go.
But having been
feeling romantic.
Having been doing once while listening to Peter Gabriel and having trouble, it wasn't that I was under the influence of anything. It was that I wasn't.
Wait, are you blaming Peter Gabriel for your DUI? Because I'm not sure
I'm
that's
blaming,
causal.
Yeah, well, no, it's but if you're listening to, something and then you feel like it's a jinx, so when I'm driving. when I'm driving, and especially when I'm driving tired coming back late at night, I'm pretty hypersensitive about when Peter Gabriel comes on, because I tried explaining that to the arresting officer to no avail.
Oh no.
To no
The old
avail.
Peter Gabriel defense. Sorry, officer.
Yeah.
In my
That's
eyes,
probably
in
the
your
only
eyes.
reason you got the ticket, Andy, is because you're trying
She
to
said-
explain that shit to shut up next time.
Oh,
Can we back
He had
up?
a broken
I know.
taillight.
I know. I've learned.
Hey Andy, let's take a pause here and realize that you got in the car, tired, hitting the rumble strips, and possibly there's a handful of Adderall, and I know at least one tab of LSD somewhere on your luggage.
That would have done that.
That's how these things happen. You're not taking control of your environment.
See, I actually
Probably.
disagree a little bit, Shaylee. I think that the fact that he is
Well,
so
that's why.
unaware of what he has in his luggage, that it gives him this calm, cool persona to float right through shit, because he's not at all nervous, because he's completely forgotten about all the stuff that's packed in there somewhere.
You know, I inadvertently smuggled coke from Costa Rica on accident, right?
That's exactly
Yeah.
my point.
See, it's a plausible deniability that saves us
That
career
won't
fucking.
save you if you're smuggling, you're bringing coke into
I
America from Costa Rica. Plausible deniability doesn't work. I mean, that, right?
Oh, sure.
Guys, come on.
Sure,
Anyway.
it was not on purpose. I didn't even know it till the next Super Bowl, or like several Super Bowls. The difference between when the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl to the next time they played is when I put that fucking thing on again, and that's where I found it in my pocket. I didn't know I had it. It might have been a tip or something. You know, we can get into that later. I hadn't been to many third world countries, so I didn't know how to conduct business.
Don't know the exchange rate exactly.
And it's helped because now
Round up.
that it's helped now that America's become a third world country. I already know the fucking rules. I've hit the ground running. But yeah, I threw them bags in back and didn't dig through them again, because I knew whatever was in them bags, it would be better. Probably. Well, I didn't. I just forgot, or I left in a hurry.
So someone gave you
After it's-
cocaine in Costa Rica, and you had it in your coat pocket, and you packed your coat into your suitcase, and you brought it back,
Right.
and then you found it the next time you wore the coat. Is that what you're saying?
Now you're really legitimately being a bumper. I've heard it explained as bumpers, and now I get it.
Erickson's got one of those little shorthand typewriters in front of him.
I did not go to any Super
Stenography.
Bowl party. I did not go to any Super Bowl party. In fact, it was quite the opposite. It was me and my dogs. I put on that fucking Homer thing. I don't even like the Seahawks anymore because Pete Carroll's kind of a douche, or it just lost interest, maybe. But I put on that hoodie, and it was the Super Bowl, and I was like my dog, and it was just me and the cats basically. And I don't know what cult, or who was off where at what meeting, study, or whatever. But I had some warmed up some wieners, them little wiener wraps from Trader Joe's. Had the mustard and mayonnaise ready, and then my dog's wanting to play fetch, and I'm throwing her a football, and then I reach in my pocket. I was like, "What's this?" And then I found that, and I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah! This Super Bowl party just kicked it up a notch." I couldn't really let the pets in on it, but it was fucking it was a turnaround from just having some warm snacks.
It's one of those moments when you find cocaine you didn't know you have. Like at first you're like, oh man, this sucks. It's the Super Bowl. I'm all by myself. There's no one else here to be at the Super Bowl with me. And then you find cocaine and you look left and you look right and you're like, fuck yeah, there's no one else here. This is all mine.
It took me a second, and then I realized, oh fuck yeah, I just kind of mothballed that thing after the Super Bowl. And then it was in the closet.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing, and shame on security or whatever. Is that really truly your customs? That's some loose fucking way to run your ship, man. What are your dogs? What are they there for? Because that was some pretty good, I mean, if You know, if a dog and cat could have had somebody, talk too much to them in a day, it was definitely that day. I explained football to my cat. Now, Darwin took that knowledge to her deathbed.
The intricacies of the game.
Fuck yeah, I still had fun, in spite of my circumstances of finding out late in the game that I was a fucking pretty good half-assed smuggler. Yeah, I mean, once I figured out it came from Costa Rica, I was like, God damn it, that was I wouldn't have been nearly that calm going through customs. In fact, I would have ditched the whole fucking outfit before I even went to the airport, let alone go fucking. And then I almost probably put it into Goodwill several times. It was like,
That's why some people volunteer at Goodwill.
I know.
Just to find a jacket like that.
It could have been some retard sorter's biggest fucking day in life. Like, I sorted the pockets. Super Bowl. It was for me, I'm a
Did you just call the workers at Goodwill retard sorters?
Well, don't shop while they can't have They found out tweakers are ineffective because they shop on the job. Whereas a retard can sort without shopping. That's the difference between my brother Larry and a Down syndrome adult.
And you don't want to put the retards behind the cash register. I mean, so it only makes sense that they got to be sorters, I guess.
Tweakers still have a sense of fashion.
Also, they know sometimes people leave cocaine in their pockets.
Yeah, I would definitely go through sporting clothes and anything from a concert. leather pants, of course. Yeah.
But you went to neither on this trip to Florida. I mean, you should always check your luggage. You don't know. Admittedly, you don't know when you've got stuff on you. I just reminded you of 2 drugs you didn't know you traveled with from Portland Airport.
I couldn't even tell you what airline it was, except I remember how nice United was with snacks when they removed us from the plane and laughed off that we got ass-ended by our fucking snack cart. And then they go, oh, we got snacks. And it was like, I was the only one going, you think these things got fucking insurance? Of course they're giving us snacks, man. Snacks were involved in an accident. They want to disperse witnesses.
That's your job, Andy. That's your job. Everything's fine here. No one's gonna sue.
I took 3 peanut butter and cheese cracker and a complicit peanut butter cookie with me. They're in my bag too. And now that I'm realizing I went last night without dessert, seems like the temperature's been lowered around here. And every time I monkey with the thermometer, it just seems to go back off. So there's been some changes in management since I've been gone a little bit. I can't quite decipher. But I now know where I can escape it with drugs and cookies. So I pretty much know I know how I'm wrapping up the impeachment hearing. Much like I wrapped up that Super Bowl and laughed like a hyena when the fucking Seahawks lost on that last play of the game. Like, I was like, man, I only found drugs because I was sort of feeling like, man, I like Seattle people, but fuck the Seahawks, but I'm wearing it only one more time. And then the city came through for me. So
you mentioned that the temperature seemed to be getting lowered. And what I would like to say is that you are also getting lowered because you are slowly sliding down out of the camera shot. As the show goes on. There we go. He's back.
I'm slunking down towards the bong. I'm on over-the-counter stuff right now, believe it or not. This is from last year's cold situation. Syrups and
Hey, Andy.
Yep.
I'm sorry. While we're doing a little work on the production here, is the laptop? Can you slide it towards you more from the tape on the table? Can you just slide the whole thing closer to you?
Yeah, that not without knocking shit over.
Well, I don't want you to knock something over. I just wonder, you're like leaning so far back and out of the shot. It's like, it seems like you just pull the table closer to you, then we'd have a tighter shot.
And now
look at that. Man. Look at that.
I feel backlit.
All right, let's start the podcast.
Grab your microphone. Right. Grab your microphone. Grab your microphone.
Okay, I'm putting it right there and setting that down. All right, are we ready to go here? Okay, so it's almost my time. Hey, this is the best trial run. You know, we should do this. We should do this every time, like a really long dress rehearsal. I'm sure it ruined a lot of hair. You know, it's what ruined. Hey, man, did you hear Vince Neil singing? Was that for real?
God, was that horrible?
Oh man!
Oh my God!
I felt sorry for him.
It's like he's not. It's like
again. Like I feel like him and Donald Trump could help each other more now than they ever could back in The Apprentice. Like from one guy who's not hitting the notes to another. It's like, man, I don't know. What do you do? What are you gonna do? You know, you can't resign from Motley Crue, can you? Can you get impeached from what? You know, you could get Steven Adler out, but I mean, holy fuck! I mean, you know, it's hardly worth Tommy Lee slinging his dick around the town with that as lead vocals. No offense, Vince. You know, I have a feeling that guy that died in the Dewey when Vince was driving heard similar screaming right before the white light.
The guy from Hanoi Rocks.
Yeah, he didn't deserve that, man. If that's what he heard, he was like, holy fuck. That's some shit. Yeah. I'm back home where I can admire other people's meltdowns instead of just being one. I can get out of the mix. I can at least feel like I'm out of the mix, even though I'm probably still right in the middle of it, but I can see that kind of shit and appreciate it like I can when I'm not fucking in the middle of my own fucking crisis. It's like, God damn it, Vince Neil sucks. It's terrible, man. I feel bad for him. And Vince would hear our podcast and go, what's wrong with this poor son of a bitch? He'd go, man, I feel bad for Andy, Vince Neil says, or Donald Trump could hear me. He'd be like, man, why are you losing your Adderalls, motherfucker? Be presidential. Keep that shit crushed in a fucking thing that you can always just hit the fucking thing, man. He must have some liquid fucking, dispenser. I'm guessing the president, he has basically the Air Force One of snort machines, and he just blasts that Adderall so far up into his deranged brain that he, I think he's going to start doing the fucking tour like Kobe Bryant did in the NBA and just go around and griff cities one last time, get a fucking reclining chair and a motorcycle and some shit.
No.
I mean, it's fun, I mean, if you can eliminate the political, it's fun watching a fucking speedhead get way too much pressure piled on him, handle it with bravado, and then you hit the wall, and then it's like fucking Looney Tune times. And it's that's where we're at. Yeah. It's kind of cool. It's finally, I mean, it's like I was ready to bail on this whole fucking show.
It's not as bad if you don't care if America survives.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And watching like yeah. If you worry about that shit, I don't know.
I'm still over here drawing up plans for a CO2 powered Coke vial, so I'm just listening. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I hope the guy's reduced to just like has his museum and he can be there and you go, hey man, hey Don, it's me and my buddy Vince Neil. We're here. We want to know how we get one of them vape units that got you past the year 2. Because clearly the guy hit a wall in year 2, but he was still riding the fucking rails and still, it's like, man, he ain't even coming up with no new shit, feels like he ain't even covering the old shit half of the time. It's like, what the fuck, man? I just want to see him do a sober show again. That's my hope for the guy.
Now we know why Motley Crue decided to have the Now we know why Motley Crue decided to have drums that fucking flew through the air and spun around and shot fire It's like if Vince Neil is singing, you got to have something else going on.
Well, I mean,
oh man,
could
I haven't seen
caterwaul
more
back in the
clever
day.
use of back. I can't believe. Did you see the backup singing whores dolls or whatever? I haven't seen such strategic use since Corey Feldman's baseball fucking sideshow where he had the dolls or whatever.
Corey's Angels. Corey's Angels.
Angels, yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple of angels, and then he did some Michael Jackson "Didn't Molest Me" dance moves.
The gals.
He's got that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that it's not hard
Yeah.
to notice the
What do they
gals on
call
stage
them?
with Steel because they're the ones actually
Feldman's
singing.
angels.
Go ahead, Andy.
No. It's all cut now. Did I fuck it up again?
No. You're cutting. You are cutting out every once in a while. I don't think we've mentioned that, but
Yeah. Okay. I see Chad Shank. Now I got to click on all the other. There's Shaylee.
oh, okay.
Now,
So,
I think Erickson's being the asshole. Is Erickson gone? You guys see Erickson?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
Okay.
I
He's there.
think what it is,
Uh,
it might be your connection, Andy, because sometimes when mine slows down, it starts cutting people off.
yeah.
Where I only get one person if it's real slow. I've got smart though, and I switch it to my phone data, which is way more powerful than the internet out here. So
Oh, your hotspot?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like light years ahead of me, Bob.
That might be the finale of Issues with Andy when he comes on and he's like, "Hey, I'm running from a hotspot today, fellas," and we're like, "Well, I guess we got no more fucking issues, man. He's fixed."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's odd that my worst fucking coverage is right here at home. What's that say? Where I get better coverage in Bisbee. Anyway,
I personally, I like the next to the sidewalk coverage that you had. That was pretty solid.
yeah, it's almost better if I have to scramble.
That's
You're like
something
Fran
you're very used to.
Tarkington.
The scramble this time was as I showed up an hour early and it was going on.
And he thought he still had an hour to prepare.
Well, everybody's
Yeah.
time zone is fucking a little off.
What? No.
Well, you and
No,
Erickson are the
That's
same,
not true at
right?
all. That's not
No.
true. It's the same as when
Yeah.
Erickson sent out the text last night.
Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, the the over-the-counter stuff doesn't agree with my system. Clearly, is
Are
that
you
shit like
flu-ish?
yeah, but I think I'm over the hump of it. But I'm still gonna plead contagious around here just to create that extra fucking dome of space beyond the space I already have. It's like if you've ever seen somebody who's like separated from the herd at an old folks home. That's what it's like here. When I think I have a cold coming on, and it's like it's like contagions, and it's like like the end of ET, So I'm gonna keep dragging this head cold on for the next month if I can. I might
Oh, Andy.
Boy in the bubble.
just set the food down and walk away.
I'll turn my head. Hurry.
Would you like the lotion in a basket? Yeah, lotion in a basket. Put it in the basket. God damn it. No human interaction. It freaks me out.
So Andy, what do you got
Like
coming
one
up?
of those goats in the goat park.
Well, in the immediate future, I'll be wrapping some pipes, making sure there's no poison down underneath furniture for the squirrels and such.
Oh.
I'm winterizing shit. I'm behind the curve here on some shit. Gutters. I'll be cleaning some gutters. Writing the great American novel. Getting high. Getting calm. Are you waiting? Is this a list? Is this like a?
Well, I was really confused.
I feel like a
Wondering,
bartender.
I
I was like
is there a gig coming up? What's the process of your video? Is there anything on the horizon of the Andy Anders world of entertainment?
Yeah, nothing to announce yet, but stuff's coming up. But I don't have any specifics, so nothing. Therefore, I can say I'm just going to keep my testimony tight, and I would like to refer to my attorney to anything I haven't answered proper. I feel like I'm doing my duty as a U.S. citizen.
Well, I am not Andy's attorney, but I can speak to some plans that are in the offing. Andy and I will be doing shows at the end of December. We will be at Winston's Ocean Beach Club that we played with Doug a couple of times down in San Diego on December 27th. And tickets are on sale for that. So I'll put a link in the description.
I think that's a Viking bar.
Get tickets for that.
I think that's a Viking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It is. They are aligned with one team.
Is that like a traditional Viking?
December 28th. Yes.
We should definitely bring Chad Shank to the Viking bar. I feel like he's the only way we'd have any cred walking into a real Viking bar.
No, don't
worry,
Andy.
All right.
As an Erickson, I hold sway among the Vikings.
Oh, that's true.
So don't worry about it.
All right.
Yeah. And then December 28th, we'll be in Ventura, California. But I don't know the particulars on that gig yet. So there you go. Those are two things that are happening.
Right on.
And then winterizing.
On gutters. And gutters.
We're going to do our gutters.
Smoking weed.
Erickson, are you helping with that? Are you in on the gutters gig too?
I'm
50-50?
I'm not in on the gutters deal.
The gutters is actually a door deal, which I think I'm getting fucked on because it's gutters, man. Why am I taking the door?
Gutters on a door.
I know. That's why I feel like I feel like I got to get some of this written down. So
in writing.
The only cut I'm going to get is when I have one glove I lose, and then I reach in that gutter one more time and hit that sheet metal, and then I get a firm cut of that. I get all of that. That's me, 100% gutter cut.
And get a nice case of lockjaw because you haven't had a tetanus shot in years. Sounds fun.
Oh, I get those every week. I call it heroin.
Yeah.
It's called junk.
Is that what you thought that was?
Yeah, I got
Here for my junk shot.
Yeah, Larry just
rusty metal.
Larry's an expert on tetanus removal, so I get a tetanus syringe from Larry for my bad blood sugar. No, he's not.
That's not how that works.
I'm joking, Larry's not. Right. Larry's barely able to keep himself medicated.
Well, we understand all of these stories about your family and all of your situations, all purely for entertainment purposes only.
Of course.
None of this is actually true. This is all just for you, the viewer.
We came up with like the best way to do this podcast is have a hypothetical character that has some issues.
Yeah.
We bounce a few things off of, and then we just talk about other stuff. And that's it.
This is kind of leading up to your one-man show. So,
right.
I mean, you do need that kind of that peripheral character that kind of weaves in and out of your life.
Right.
I'm actually in talks with Martin Short about actually being a two-person show.
Yeah. Steve Martin's not going to live forever.
Yeah. So I know what Martin's going to do. Andy, what are you going to do in the two-person show?
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to try to keep him medicated with my travel bag. They go, man, we'll just try something from my travel bag, and then you sing whatever comes to mind. Like that. So it'll be a true improvisational.
That would be fun. I would enjoy that. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
We might have to settle down we might have to settle for a lesser known version of Martin Short. To just maybe like a guy who's, a guy who may be playing out in front of the post office or something, but.
Or anyone named Martin.
Or
Yeah,
just a
or
short
anybody.
guy.
Yeah, anyone short.
or a Canadian for that matter. Just a
We could
Canadian.
we could get around giving refunds if we get Martin, who is a short guy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's advertised.
Anyone but
You
Vince
got
Neil.
Martin Short? No, we got Short Martin. It's totally.
Yeah. No, but that is actually the real Vince Neil. He's just a fat dude who's looking for drugs now.
Oh.
Man, it must be tough when the pussy well's got to be that dry for a guy who poor Vince. He's too, if he did get a regular, I don't think he probably has the heart for it anymore. Literally. Like, the chicks that would celebrity fuck him right now would be like the ones that would take his life.
Black Widow fans.
Yeah, right.
I
Yeah,
wish
he
I
needs
had
to
him
find
on the death
he needs
pool,
to
not-
find a couple of reformed kissed ladies or something.
The Kiss fans that are in their 60s, that's when they decide to bail out.
Right?
At
Yeah,
60,
maybe.
they're like,
Yeah.
Maybe
we
maybe
need a
getting
real band.
maybe getting a lukewarm mouth, toothless blowjob might be the only thing Vince Neil's heart could take at this point. God knows it ain't gonna help his pipes to have anything better going on, man. Jesus Christ. It was like watching any of us do karaoke, or the worst anybody doing karaoke that didn't even. I mean, it wasn't that he didn't know the song; he couldn't even match his pitch on the notes. And the best note was when he turned it over to the audience to sing the note.
With the mic out.
Yeah, that was the only time. That seemed to be the
He's
only
using
time the vocalist.
audience as a pitch pipe.
Right. It seemed to be the only time the vocalist was really sure of what the next lyric was. The crowd so wanted to jump in and finish it for him and then just do drugs with him and go, "It's okay, man. You sounded great." Yeah, those pants still fit. Cool. No, it's
in
not
his head,
you.
he did not look or sound like that in his head. Can you imagine how depressing that would be when he was? Oh, fuck. That's what I did. God damn it! I should have stayed retired or wherever the fuck I was.
Did you see that? It was just like David Bowie and
Freddie Mercury.
Bowie and Mick Jagger dancing in the streets, but just kind of singing it while doing the video and kind of off pitch and stuff. That was just two guys doing it for the video camera and mimicking the notes and not really trying to strain their voice or anything. But that's what that clip of Vince Neil sounded like. It sounded like those guys goofing, dancing in the streets. Like, oh my! It was like the worst fucking. It was the worst fat drunk guy impression of a rock star ever, and it just sadly happened.
By a fat drunk rock star.
Yeah, like it had to make Axl Rose from 2 years ago feel better about itself.
I was thinking the same thing, and the only person that felt good about that was Axl Rose.
Yeah, and Axl Rose has actually rebounded. So fat guys can rebound. It's just he's got to have to change up something there. Get a pitch coach.
Or maybe less barbecue on backstage craft services.
Right. Yeah, less self-abuse through chicken, more through drugs. Because when he was a lean drug addict, he could hit them notes.
I blame the tour manager who said, "Yeah, man, order whatever you want."
I feel like,
hey, sorry, kid, you're on a kale only diet.
Yeah. I feel like we'll see that.
And we got to shave that fucking mustache, dude. Come here.
Yeah, he can't even get his ass kicked in front of Vegas hotels now. I ain't fucking with that fat guy. That fat guy looks tough.
What, that guy who ate Vince Neil?
Yeah.
So what you're saying, I think I may have kicked Vince Neil in the balls on the Fremont Strip.
No, because he would have been able to hit the note.
Yeah. That's how he was considering that as voice coach. It's like if I get kicked in the nuts enough times, maybe I will be able to front this band. They're doing that Netflix. This is the perfect time for a half-hearted comeback.
Kick me on the bridge.
Oh, I love how when you said that, everybody's laughter kept escalating as we individually pictured that guy and realized that he really did look like that.
He definitely had a rock star attitude.
Vince Neil's
kicked him in the ass.
Vince Neil's probably wearing the same diaper.
Yeah, it's
all right, gentlemen. Parting thoughts?
None. That would be against the grain on this one, right? But,
well, we did it then.
Well, here's
some plugs in. I mentioned our gigs coming up. Check the link in the description and come see us in San Diego and Ventura. You can roll right through the Andy and Brett show right into Vegas to watch Doug Stanhope at the Plaza on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
And we talked about maybe doing a live podcast out in Vegas.
That's probably for off air. That's probably for off air.
Yeah,
hey, I don't know.
Shit.
I mean, Brett ran through everything that's booked, so why would he leave one thing
Frank
out?
Collar.
If
He
it was
probably did. I was gonna say
what I was
gonna say was what I was gonna say when you said, "Did I have any final thoughts?" Yeah, I have final thoughts about. I had all summer to clean those gutters.
You just have to clean them again. It's like washing your clothes.
Yeah, but I'm hoping there's less fecal matter up in the gutters. But there's a lot of birds around here, so it's probably going to be pushed.
Shit.
That's why I clean my underwear with a hose.
That's a good place to end.
That's it.
Yeah,
Still trying to get
Chad, you want to get a plug in
us?
for your
yeah, if
a plug for your Twitch stream?
Yeah. Go to my Twitter at @HDFatty. My pin tweet will tell you how to use your existing Amazon Prime subscription. It includes a Twitch subscription. It tells you how to link it and give me money that you already paid somebody else. So I get Amazon's money if you do that. So check it out, please. Also, it's pretty fun on there.
You can see the crew playing darts and shit, and that's a good time.
Last night we had Stanhope was on, Drunk Stanhope with Drunk Chaley and Tracy.
How dare you?
We had a good time. I was hammered. We were playing poker. Joby was on. Liberal.
Tracy going out of her mind watching these bumbling idiots fucking play poker. She can't wait.
None of us know how to play poker.
Oh, and she's driving her mad. It's so funny.
So yeah, look for Tracy to be on with us sometimes, maybe in the future, kicking the shit out of us at poker. So,
I would like that. That would be fun. All right, gentlemen. Here's to another one in the books.
All right,
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thanks.